It has often been said that New Zealand is like the UK was 50 years ago. It's a little bit innocent and maybe a little bit backward. And we've always defended that. No, New Zealand is forward thinking. It's right on up there with the rest of the world. But this week, we were challenged by that. And he looks at it like this and he goes, oh, hang on. He holds it up and he goes, Brenda, and he goes, is this okay? Looking at me like, you know, can I sell it to her? And the woman just goes, in this week's show, we're going to share with you some stories about life in New Zealand and let you decide if New Zealand is up there or it's got a bit more work to do.
It's a Drama, coming to you from Taranaki, New Zealand.
Hello.
Daddy, I love him!
Mother thanks you.
Right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
Hello and welcome to It's a Drama Show. I'm Liz.
And I'm Brian.
And today we bring you this episode on location. We're still in Taranaki. We haven't gone that far. We've actually only gone 5 minutes down the road from where we live. But we're in the beautiful national park called Lucy's Gully. This area is called Lucy's Gully.
Part of the Taranaki National Park.
Yes.
Yes.
And isn't it just gorgeous? Because it was really windy at our house. So we said, oh no, we're not filming there.
Yeah.
So we just thought we're going to come down here and chat to you about what we know you love the most, life in New Zealand.
Yep.
We've got 3 really good, insightful, gossipy things that have been happening in New Zealand this week that we just cannot wait to share with you.
Yeah.
So if you're new to the show, we're Liz and Brian, husband and wife. We moved to New Zealand
2009?
yonks ago, wasn't it, Brian?
Yeah, 2009.
Yeah, I'm glad you remember.
Yeah.
And we like to come and chat to you about life in New Zealand, moving to New Zealand, and just chew the fat about New Zealand and just life here, really. It's just
That's it, really, isn't it?
It's just what we like to do and share stories with you. So the first story we're going to jump in with, and this is one for our American audience, actually, isn't it? 'Cause
Yes.
we know there's a lot of you in America that love the show, and it's no secret that I've got great admiration for the Americans because their attitude is being British is down here,
Yeah.
and being American, like for gutsy, like, you know.
Yeah, I think is it rude? Or is it just the way that they're brought up?
What, Americans?
Well, to like English, it would be like, oh my God.
Well, I know. Well,
How can you say that?
I know.
Whereas the Americans, it's just like, what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
It's just,
But I admire that though, Brian.
Yeah, maybe.
I admire it. I don't care if it's rude.
Maybe it's from all the Russians that moved there all those millions of years ago.
What are you on about?
Well, because they just tell you as it is, the Russians, don't they? As
We're
in,
not talking about the
or
Russians,
Eastern
talking
Bloc or
about
Polish, or
Americans.
people like, yeah, I know, but it's like, it was a big melting pot in New York, wasn't it? Where a lot of immigrants were coming in.
Was there?
Yeah.
You sure about this?
Yeah.
Are you just making this
Not
up?
just, it's, that's what America is like.
Anyway, I'm not talking about being Russian. No offence, Russian people.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is like Americans' attitude.
Yeah.
Anyway, should we just tell the story?
Yes.
So we go down to this local cafe in town to do our work. It's got fantastic internet, fantastic stuff. I'm not going to tell you where it is because you'll ruin it and come down and see us. No,
Yes.
I can't say that. I can't say that.
Yeah, you'll ruin
I
it.
can't say that.
Let's get on with the first story.
Yeah.
To say that.
Right, so let's jump on in with the first story. You're going to love this, especially if you're American. So there's a cafe in New Plymouth that me and Brian go to work. It's a fantastic place. It's got brilliant internet, great coffee and tea, and a lovely vibe. The staff are really lovely.
Some good
aren't
food
they?
as well. Yeah.
And some good food. And the inside, there's a massive big table where, like, you know, like if you look like you're doing some really important work and you go with your computer and you set it all up and stuff, and like you're like this.
Especially put your headphones on.
Yeah, you
People
can
are
put
like,
your.
what's he doing?
Yeah, Bri puts his headphones on sometimes, and he sits on the table. It's really communal. Is that the word? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good workspace.
It
It's a
is.
good workspace cafe. I mean, that's what it's renowned for, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, Yeah.
And there's lots of other little tables around, but if you imagine this big, like, lofty area,
like an old warehouse.
that's it. Yeah,
Yep.
that's the word I meant, not loft. A warehouse-y sort of feel, isn't it?
Yeah.
And like I say, everyone can see everyone can hear what's going on. There's no private nooks. It's very, very open, okay?
Yep.
So anyway, this cafe, and the reason I'm not going to tell you the name of the cafe is because, well, you'll know in a minute. This cafe has a local resident that likes to come in, and he's a little bit, how do I say this? wacky. Can I say wacky?
You could say wacky. Yeah, you could.
A little bit
He's just
eccentric.
a huge character.
He is a huge character, and he's a little bit eccentric. Lovely guy, and every time we have been working in this cafe, he comes in, right, he has his routine, he comes in and he says hello to all the staff, and he orders himself a drink, and he'll find his little spot, and then he takes it upon himself to take out his mouth organ.
Normally when it's time for him to leave.
Yeah. And stop tooting on this mouth organ.
Yeah. I think what you're trying to say is not really a tune that comes out, is it? It's just...
It's rubbish. Isn't
yeah.
it right? It's just a noise.
Lots of
But-
breathing in and out, but if you knew what the song was, then
Yeah.
maybe you would know what it was.
But because he's such a nice guy and
Yeah.
he's a character, all the Kiwis in there and all the people are like, oh,
Yeah, give him a
no,
round of applause at the end of it,
yeah.
and then he bows and off he goes,
Yeah,
doesn't he?
yeah. And it doesn't matter that, you're disturbing the peace, and Brian can
Yeah.
no longer hear through his headphones because
That's
all
it.
we can hear is the mouth organ. And he likes to go around each table and like this, and you've got, oh yeah, you're great, man.
Cheers.
You're really
Yeah.
funny.
See you tomorrow.
And you just go along because that's what you do, isn't it? That's what you do.
Well, it's what nice people do, isn't it?
It is, Bri.
Yeah.
That's not to say that Americans aren't nice people.
Well.
But the other day, we weren't in there, and you know how you watch people when they come in? I don't know what it is. Sometimes you just there's something about certain people that you just keep watching them. And this couple came in, they were in about their 30s,
Yeah.
late 30s maybe. And I think the reason they caught my eye is because he had a big like Greenpeace-y t-shirt on. It was bright green and he had the Greenpeace sign on it.
Oh, Greenpeace.
Yeah, you know
I thought you said
Greenpeace?
PC.
No,
Yeah.
Greenpeace,
Greenpeace, yes,
no
yes.
war and things like that. But
Well, yes.
That.
Yes. Nuclear disarmament.
that's it.
And all that.
But you know the symbol that says Greenpeace?
I know, yes,
So
yeah.
he had that on. And so it just caught my eye and I was watching them, and he sat down with his partner, the woman that was sitting opposite to them, and new faces, like not local.
Yeah, what are you doing here?
I know.
Yeah.
It's almost like the whole cafe just stops
That's
what
it.
they're doing, isn't
I'll
it?
have a baby sham. Remember that advert?
Anyway, they sit down and they're just doing their thing, and in walks Mouth Organ Man. And everyone's sort of like, they tense up a little bit like this, don't they, Bri? Because
Yeah.
they know what's coming, and they know, like I say, just going to have to put 5 minutes aside now because we're going to have to listen to the
Everybody
Mouth
stop.
Organ.
Yeah.
Anyway, this poor couple, they're probably on holiday in New Plymouth, just been to the Lenlie and doing all cultured things.
The touristy things.
And they're sitting there, and over he comes with his mouth organ, this guy. And the first thing he says to them, he just stood there. And he stood, and he's a big guy, and he stood there in front of them, and they sort of went like this, didn't they? Like, oh, what? Yes, hello? Like, and he said, what's your name? It's like shouts like this, what's your name? And the guy says his name. What's her name? The lady says her name. He said, are you hippies? And the guy said, no, I wouldn't say we're but he's got an American accent.
Yep.
So he's like, no, I wouldn't say we're hippies. This is my American accent. And he goes, why have you got that t-shirt on? And then he starts, he said something, which I couldn't quite hear, but something about Greenpeace or something like this. And he goes, I'm going to play you a tune. So he gets his mouth organ out, right?
Yeah.
Didn't he?
Yeah.
And he stood in front of them and he was giving it, and he went on and on, what seemed like flipping hours, but it was probably only about 30 seconds. He stops playing, everyone sort of like breathes a sigh of relief because it's like, oh, phew,
Yeah, stop.
we've escaped.
Yeah,
Like, you
yeah.
know. He
Headphones back up to max.
yeah. He stopped playing and he put the mouth organ down on their table where their coffee was. And he said, so whereabouts are you from then? You know, whereabouts in America are you from? And the American guy turned around, he did this. He put his hands very calmly on the table and he looked to Mouth Organ Man and he said, can I just say, my friend, he said, can I just say, my friend, it's been lovely talking to you, but right now I need some time with my wife and I'd appreciate it if you left us alone. And Mouth Organ Man goes, okay, and walks away. And I was just thinking, oh, is that all you need to do?
That's all you need to do, isn't it?
Is that all you need to do, Bri?
Yeah.
Just say.
Yeah.
Just say the truth. We want some time alone. We don't want to listen to your mouth organ.
Yeah, you drivel anymore. That's the thing, isn't it? You know?
And that's the thing is.
British can't do that. They just end up sitting there for the next hour talking to
do.
someone they didn't want to talk to.
Well, this is my
Yeah.
point, because I was telling Tess, my daughter, and I was telling her the story, and she said, "Oh, that's really mean." And I said, "Why?" And she said, "Well, that's you.
It's rude.
Yeah, it's rude."
No, it's not.
And well,
What's yeah, but you're invading someone's space, aren't you? So, you know, that's you've gone there for a coffee for a reason.
I know.
You know, and if you only got like 20 minutes or half an hour, then piss off, please.
Oh, Bri.
Well-
but they might have been talking about important issues like Greenpeace and like how Greenpeace is impacting the world, and you know
Yeah.
the beauty of Greenpeace.
Exactly.
And they don't want to be interrupted. But it wasn't even that. It was the fact. It was the way he just said it, and it was so polite
Yeah.
and so matter of fact. And that's what I was like,
Yeah. In awe.
staring.
What's so much wanting to be American? Yeah.
I know. So, yeah, I just thought it was a real classic little scene of Kiwis. And then this is what Kiwis do, and certainly what British do.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised we weren't down on his flipping, kissing his feet and saying, "Do you want me to clean your mouth organ for you?"
Who taught you how to do that?
Yeah, you're amazing.
Yeah.
You're brilliant. But no, so that was the American versus the Kiwi version of it. So, a little fly.
See, they're around,
Yeah.
aren't they?
Oh, look at the
I
scenery,
know.
Bri.
But look at it, it's starting to go cloudy on us.
Well, no.
Well, yeah.
How come you? I just said, "Oh, look, isn't it
Yeah.
beautiful?" Oh no, it's going cloudy.
Oh,
Hey? See the positive. I've got to
I
tell
do.
you. I've got to tell you, when we were setting up for this, because I just said, "Oh, I just want to go somewhere in nature and just sit and chat to them about what's been happening," and you were a little bit negative, weren't you, Bri?
yeah, but it's because it's me who's got to set it all up.
Well, no, because it wasn't even hard to set up. It's literally a tripod with a camera. All we're doing is sitting here. But you were,
Microphones.
"Oh no, it's windy.
Yeah,
It's
there it is.
the tripod will fall over and we'll roll down the hill and break our
I know,
necks."
but you wanted to get the big chairs out and sit on the bank and be like, as we go over.
I know, and now look, I found this little place.
It's a little bank which is a grown over fence.
Yeah.
So you can just about sit
We're
on
just
it, can't
sitting
you?
on it, so it's really great. Right,
You are here because you love New Zealand.
You might be moving to New Zealand.
Living in New Zealand,
or you might just spend your days dreaming of visiting this gorgeous country.
because we love New Zealand as much as you do, we have compiled a short and very unique 5-day video series
Showcasing life in New Zealand, what it's really like. These videos are real, they are exclusive, and best of all, they're absolutely free.
So if you would like to view New Zealand
From the inside out and find out what life is really like down here.
sign up now, and every day for 5 days we will send you a personal 3-minute video
Showcasing some brilliant aspect of life in New Zealand.
You are gonna love it.
Go to www.itsadrama.com/ILoveNZ. We can't wait to share those videos with you. Okay, let's get back on with the show. Right, the second thing we wanted to talk to you about
Yep.
was, we don't know what this is about, and we wanted to ask you, if you're in New Zealand, if you're experiencing the same. Because the other day, I went down to the pharmacy in Owakura, and before we tell this story, I
Yep.
just actually need to give a big shout out to Owakura Pharmacy, because they are just the top. They are the best, absolute best staff, best
They are.
little pharmacy.
Yep.
Best man who works behind the...
Simon.
Oh yeah, Simon.
Top guy.
What's it called when you do all the medicine?
He's the pharmacist.
Pharmacist, yeah. Just flipping lovely down there,
Yeah.
absolutely lovely. So what I'm about to share with you now is by no means a reflection on the pharmacy or the staff. I think this is just, well, he told me actually, he said,
It's Pharmac, isn't it?
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
New Zealand wide.
Yeah.
And we want to know why. So
Yeah.
we went down there, Bri waited outside, I went in to get my HRT medicine. So HRT, hormone replacement therapy, you get patches of estrogen and progesterone tablets. Anyway, you don't need to know about that, but oh, and you'll never guess what.
Yeah.
I've been off having awful hot flushes. But no, so yeah, I was going in to get my HRT medicine.
Yep.
And I was stood behind a woman in front of me, and I could hear her saying, "Well, how long is it going to be? How long will I have to wait?" And the guy behind the counter
was saying, I'm really sorry, it's happening to a lot of medicines.
Yeah.
Now, I happen to know that the lady in front of me wasn't getting HRT, it was something else. And the reason I know that is because she was paying some money for it, and you don't pay for HRT in New Zealand. So anyway,
Right.
that's a different thing.
Well, you pay your $5 normally, don't you? Which is for your
Well,
your
this is what I don't
prescription, or
understand.
$15, is it?
I thought that,
don't
but
really
when
know.
I go down there, they never charge me.
No, but you know why that is?
Why?
Because you go down with a prescription for 2 months of HRT or 3 months or whatever
Yeah.
it is, and that's what you're going to talk about. So that's why you
What do
pay
you
them
mean
once.
that's what I'm going to talk about?
Well, I'll let you carry on with the story. Then you might work it out.
What? Anyway, so yeah, I knew that she wasn't getting HRT because I was nosying in and seeing what she was getting, and it wasn't HRT. But when it came to my turn, I said, hi, can I just come to my prescription for HRT? And he was like, oh, I can only give you 2 weeks because there's a massive shortage. And I said, oh no, really? He's like, yeah, it's not just this.
We'll
it's,
have it in by the end of the month.
Yeah,
Well, it is the end
not,
of the month.
It's not just this. He said it's all medicine. He said there's a lot of medicine that's been affected.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
And we want to know that
Yeah.
because
So if you work in Pharmac, drop us a comment and tell
yeah,
us.
we wondered if you
Is it lack of
were-
money?
Yeah, we wondered if. Well,
What is
all
it?
I'm wondering is because there's been a massive thing with Davina McCall in the UK, bringing light to HRT for women. I'm
Well,
wondering.
the whole world's getting back to it, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know, America is as well and stuff like that. And
Why don't they just
the
make
UK.
more?
Well, again, they might just can't cope with the demand. Maybe, I don't know.
Do you reckon?
Well, what is it?
Yeah.
You know?
But like I said, she wasn't on it. The woman before me wasn't getting HRT. She was getting something else, and she was
Yeah.
having a problem too. So it's a bit scary, isn't it? Because you just think, well, hang on a minute. Don't not give me my HRT.
Yeah.
I'm telling you now.
Yeah. Yeah, but we do a lot of travelling, and you know, being 60 years old, I'm on testosterone, but I can't get it from the local pharmacy. It has to come from somewhere in Auckland, from a specific pharmacy, like, you know. And I always say to the doctor, I'm going travelling, so can I get 6 months supply, please? And they go, yeah, that's all right.
Then you just take it all at once.
Yeah, I just put it all on at once and have one brilliant day. I just team-ad all of a sudden. Yeah.
Oh, Brian, we should do another podcast about that, talking
I know.
about our medications.
Our medications that we're on.
Why we can't cope without these medications.
I know.
But no, Simon, the guy, the pharmacist, I just said to him, look, he said, I'm sorry. I said, no, honestly, I'm not having, I know it's not your fault, because it's not.
No.
I'm just genuinely interested. Why?
I know.
Is it because loads of people are having it, or is it because it's too expensive to bring in, or is it because there's not enough of it and they don't want to make any
there's
more
not
of
enough
it?
in the supply chain. Maybe they are making more of it, but they can only make so much. I really don't know.
It makes me laugh
Supply
though.
and demand, maybe.
It makes me laugh because the woman who works there, I don't know her name, she's just absolutely lovely, got black hair and glasses, and she's about the same age as me. And she looks at me, I said, they haven't got any. And she said, I know. And she's like, it's almost like this unspoken secret that we've got, like, you know, like, do not mess with our medication.
Yeah.
Give us our hormones that we need, otherwise there's going to be trouble. But
This is the same cafe that we talked to on another one of the shows that we did about having a Viagra sign outside.
same pharmacy.
Yes, and literally I went into the pharmacy the following week, and she said, "Oh, we're on YouTube and everything." Yeah. And it was, I felt like, oh God, it's me. I felt like walking out, like, you know, as if like I shouldn't have said it.
But no, I don't mind saying it because, like I say, I've got nothing but love for those guys down there.
They're brilliant.
And they are. And it's not their fault, I understand that. But I just wondered, we're just thinking, what's going on?
I know.
Because if it was something like life-saving,
you
would
know-
it be the same?
Yeah, because like, you
Actually,
know,
what am I saying? Because this is life-saving.
you know, when the pandemic was on, because you're not allowed to say the C word anymore, are you? Because it gets taken off YouTube or doesn't
Brian, that's
get
ages
shown.
old.
I
It's
know, it
just-
doesn't
you
matter.
get with the times.
So
That doesn't
you'd
apply.
imagine if it was that, then, you know,
I
then it
think
would
you
be.
are allowed to say
no, you're
cunt.
not. Because the people I watch, they go, like that. It's like, who's listening? Mr. YouTube.
Oh, Brian. So, right, anyway, so yeah, if you are in the same situation and you're thinking, well, oh God, I'm glad you said that, Liz and Brian.
It's not just me.
It's not just me.
Yeah.
Then drop us a comment and let us know. Right, last thing that I want to talk about.
This is a bit weird, this one, isn't it?
No, it's not weird.
It's not, yeah,
lovely.
but it's very news. It's so, yeah, it's lovely.
This is
It
so
lovely.
Kiwi.
Yeah.
This is so. Do you know what this is? This is innocence this is.
Yes.
And people...
It's good to still see it's
It
around.
is. Because people will often say, oh yeah, New Zealand, you know, it was like the UK 50 years ago or whatever they say. My mum always used to say that, you know, and you think, oh, what does it mean? But when this happened, I just wanted to reach over to the boy and just take him in my arms and just smother him with my HRT face.
Yes. Stay away from my estrogen patch. It's valuable, that. You can resell them things.
Anyway, so we went into the local Foursquare. And again, so you've got to remember, we live just outside the village of Okura. And this is the most beautiful little community, isn't it?
The Foursquare is opposite the chemist that we're talking about, the pharmacist.
It all goes on in our
pharmacy.
village, I'm telling you now.
Yeah, it does.
It's like, you know, like, remember Neighbours, Australian Neighbours, where, what were they called?
Kylie and
Jace.
Jason and Kylie,
Yeah, and they used to go
whatever their
down
names
to the
were in
cafe
thing.
and have all the, like, you know, the gossip and stuff. Well, that's what this is like.
Was it Scott?
Yeah. So you've got the pharmacy, you've got the cafe that we always talk about, not the one with the mouth organ, we're going to have with that. And then you've got the Butler's Pub, we never go there, so we've never got any gossip to tell you about that, because we're too tight, we drink at home. And then you've got the Foursquare, haven't you? There's stuff up the other end, but we don't go up the other end. This is our end. Yeah. We just stay in this little area. Anyway, I went into Foursquare the other day. Again, huge shout out. Foursquare, by the way, if you're watching this and you're not from New Zealand, because we do get questions about this, it's like the equivalent of a...
It's like a very good 7-Eleven or a Spar if you're in the UK, you know, like a Tesco Metro type thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a small supermarket.
A little grocery store.
Yeah.
But I've got to say, it's where everything happens, really, isn't it, Bri, you know?
It used to be what you call a dairy, but it's one up from that.
I tell you what, as well.
What?
If you go down that, you know, what time do they close?
The woods.
What time do they close?
Oh, come on. 7 o'clock, what's all that about?
If you go down...
Convenience store.
If you go down there at 10 to 7, that's it. You're out.
Yeah.
You're out of the circle.
That's it. They shut
Aren't
the door.
You, Bri?
Yeah.
You're not friends with them
I get down there
anymore.
at 5 to 7, they lock the door.
Yeah. So if you are going to go down there, make sure you go down there early, because the staff like to go home.
No later than 1:45.
Anyway, went down there the other night, and I get a few things and a bottle of balsamic vinegar. In a tall bottle, Pam's balsamic vinegar. And I go to the counter and I put all my things on, and the young lad behind, he must have been about 14 or 15. Yeah. And I said, hi, and he went, hi, you had a good day? Or, well, he doesn't speak like that because that's how women speak, but he said, oh, you had a good day? And
he's really talkative, isn't he?
He is, he's absolutely lovely.
He's lovely.
And I said, yeah. Anyway, just put my things through, and he gets to the balsamic vinegar, and he looks at it like this, and he goes, oh, hang on. And he goes, whatever.
Has to ring the bell, sort of thing.
He holds it up, and he goes, Brenda, or whatever the woman's called, I don't know her name. And he goes, is this okay? Looking at me like, you know, can I sell it to her? And the woman just goes, yeah, that's fine. And I didn't have the heart to tell him, it's vinegar, it's not wine
it's
or
not
alcohol.
Oh, no.
And he was just, his little face was just,
I know.
I've never wanted to just go, oh, come here, you.
Yeah.
You know, like, whoa, you're just lovely, aren't you? You know, you just don't change.
Rub him on the head. Pull his hair a little bit.
I love it.
Yeah.
Just that innocence and just that, I don't know, just that child.
It's that James Corbyn moment type thing where you want to hug him, like, you know, that sort of thing, isn't it? Like, you know, the sort of thing he would have done at one time. Yeah.
James Corden.
Corden. Is it Corden or Corbyn?
I think it's Corden, isn't it?
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
When he was in Gavin and Stacey days, then he used to hug Gavin.
Yeah. So we just thought we'd come and share those 3 things with you, and and hopefully you found them as entertaining as we did, because it's things like this, you see, that what happened to us. We go home at night when we make our dinner, and we sit down at the table, pour ourselves a glass of wine, and we just go, guess what? And we just talk, and then
chat.
we say, we'll tell them on YouTube.
Tell that on the podcast. Let's write that down.
Yeah.
Liz is constantly talking into a note taker.
Yeah. So, we hope you enjoyed that, and thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed being on location here.
Yeah.
If you do come to New Plymouth and you fancy a really lovely walk, or even just somewhere...
A good bush walk.
Yeah, a good bush walk. Or even just somewhere to just drive up and just see the whole of the coastline.
Yeah.
We'll show you on some footage. It's just Oh, it's balm for the soul is what it is. It's balm for the soul. It's
Yeah.
just so beautiful being out in nature and just communicating and chatting.
Yeah, that's what it's all about being in New
Yeah.
Zealand.
Yeah.
You know, it's connecting. Yeah.
So, my friends, until next time, thank you so much for everything that you've done, all the support you've given us, for being here, for watching, for sharing, for subscribing, of course. Just thank you for being you. Don't forget that our hearts beat as one and we love you. So take care, speak to you soon, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah, so kia kaha, stay strong, kia u, stay true. And that's true to yourself. See you now.
Bye.
Bye.
New Zealand is one of those countries that attracts people from all around the world. Greenness and nature and pureness and excitingness. But there is something about New Zealand that you would only ever know if you were a Kiwi and if you knew where to look.
We start playing this video and you know when you're just like, oh my God, this is...
In this week's episode, we're going to share 2 national treasures about New Zealand that really need to be put on the world stage, and we intend to do that. So let's jump on in and find out what those treasures are.